Later in the show, we'll bring you storylines for the season. We'll do a new LAFC player goal draft, and we'll make some wild season predictions. But first, hello and welcome to Happy Foot, Sad Foot, your LAFC gateway drug, the only LAFC podcast that also moved their MLS studios to Connecticut. I'm Travis Helwig.
I'm Vince LaRosa.
And I'm Darren Miller. Welcome to our 2025 LAFC season preview. If you've been hibernating since the end of last season, it is officially safe to wake up. This is not a drill.
Later in the show, we'll bring you storylines for the season. We'll do a new LAFC player goal draft, and we'll make some wild season predictions. But first, we still have nightmares from the scathing reactions when we tried to avoid it. It's time for listener-mandated banter. Guys,
Our first.
we're back. It's the Idiot's Guide to the 2025 season. How we feeling now that we're back at LAFC?
Like a real excited idiot. It's the idiot's guide, like we're the idiots, right? It's
Yeah,
a guide from idiots.
Yeah, that's how we imagined it.
Yeah.
It's one of the longer off seasons, and yet I'm like it's not like less excited, but it's like it just feels like it's creeping up on me. Like, oh, we're gonna play. Like there literally is an actual game a week from today
It's
in
crazy.
the CONCACAF Champions League, but because we're playing the Rapids, it feels like it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And also, we did a couple off-season pods too, so it doesn't feel like we've gotten like we're back, baby. We've been doing these.
I mean, we've been
Totally.
talking the whole time. I think
not rusty at all.
we should have gone full media blackout on each other,
Yeah,
and then just been like, "Hey, what have you been up to?"
yeah. I know. Well, remember when we tried to hang out? That's a fun banter story.
Fun for me and Darren, not for you.
That's true.
I feel like so we never get to hang out because Vince lives in Long Beach, where he ran to after he started the wildfires. I live in Highland Park. Darren lives in Burbank or Glendale, where I forget which one.
Wow. We've been friends for how long?
Yeah, but I
don't
don't
know
go to
where I
your
live.
house.
He's
There's too
clearly
many
never
children.
been to your house.
There's a lot of children.
And,
I live in
legally,
Burbank.
I'm not allowed to.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you even allowed to? Would you even want him to?
I do live in a school zone. I live in Burbank.
But we were like, let's finally have, middle of the off season. Let's talk about some new stuff we want to do for this year.
Which we also still haven't done.
Yeah, we didn't do it because I randomly was like, well, Vince always comes to us, which isn't true. Vince has never like come to Eagle
I've
Rock.
never seen Vince in Burbank.
But we were like, why don't we go to Long Beach? That'll be fun. We never go to Long Beach.
I just played along with it. I'm just going to say right here, like you guys did fully just decide like, oh yeah, well, totally. And I was like, okay, cool.
So Vince picked the place in Long Beach.
Mhm.
And I'll say for the record, it was my idea we go to Long Beach. Darren went along with it as well. I was the one who pushed for this. And then Vince sent along the name of a place. In fact, he sent the link to the place.
Mm-hmm.
I took the name of the place, put it in my Apple Maps, and Darren was texting going, oh, it's going to be an hour and a half. And I was like, that's weird. It's 45 minutes for me.
Darren also put a Google Maps link in there that you just totally ignored.
Well, I switched to Apple Maps a while back, and so going to Google Maps wasn't helpful. So I just searched for the same thing, which is that's the real problem, is that I chose to use Apple Maps.
Who would have thought there would be another restaurant with, by the way, it's not like a common name. And then it also had like the exact same setup. Like
it's the same restaurant.
Literally
it's
the
two,
same.
It's
It's
two
another
locations.
location of the same restaurant.
But so long story short, we didn't tell the audience the punchline. I went to where?
You went to Mar Vista, which you were
Mar
actually
Vista.
near my office, which was funny because I was like, oh, you're like right near where, like if I would have gone to work that day.
And we were like, Vince and I were texting like, he kept being like, you're not here. I'm in the front area. I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought it was a bit. The whole time I was like, he's just going to be like, no, there's been bad traffic. I'm not here. But then you were legitimately mad when you were like, this is the place. Here's a picture of the menu.
I will say driving to Mar Vista was a nightmare. And the idea of getting in my car and then driving 30 more minutes to Long Beach, I'm not going to do it. So Darren got to Long Beach. You guys hung out, and I drove home after eating
Travis
schnitzel.
still ate at the other location of the same place that we went to, which I thought was great.
I made friends with the waiter.
We had a great dinner.
Yeah, what did you guys do? We haven't talked about it. You talk shit about me?
Totally.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh yeah. Fuck. Yeah, we're not doing any of this stuff you talk about. It's not happening.
I feel really uncomfortable right now because I'm in a hotel room that is everything's hard, and so I can hear the echo really loud. But I also know there's people on both sides, so I just feel like I'm feeling very uncomfortable in my performance today.
Good. I like that. We can work with that.
Yeah, we can start the show, I guess, now that everyone knows that this is going to be a bad one.
Well, wait a second.
Sell it hard.
we don't want to like, because we do these things and we try to be timely. There is a game that's happening like as we speak. So I think you need to, as you do, because we're media people, and I'm not sure if people know this, but people record 2 intros sometimes. And so I think Travis, you should record 2, and then Darren, of course, will do what Darren does, or I don't even know what Darren does. I think he edits it somehow, but you should probably just record both of them, and then we'll take one out or something.
Yeah. So there's a friendly right now against Club America. I've learned to not try to say it the proper way, and so I'll just go ahead and give you both to see what happens, because I'm on the East Coast and I'm not going to watch that shit.
Great.
Truly an incredible game from the new LAFC team. Club America looked kind of like a regular old San Jose Earthquakes out there compared to our team. And can you believe Giroud? What can we say about Giroud? Just watch the game. You saw what you saw.
I'm speechless, frankly.
Speechless is, the only way you can put that.
I can't say I expected it, but it's also like I'm not surprised.
Okay, so that's one. Let's go for the next one.
That one kind of works regardless.
Wow. That was not a fun thing to watch, but we have to remember it's preseason, right? It's against one of the best teams on the continent. They're in form. We're not. And I mean, the one thing I do want to say is Giroud. I mean, what is there to say about Giroud? He was, you got to watch the game to really get it, but you don't really need to say anything about his play out there.
Yeah.
Frankly, I'm speechless.
The less said, the better, I believe, is what you're looking for there.
I can't say that I expected what I saw from Giroud, but I can't say I'm surprised either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was our preview for both. Whether we beat. Oh wait, should we do? No, we'll just use one of them if we tie.
Yeah, Darren will do something. I think. I'm not sure.
Well,
again,
if we do a third,
I don't.
You know what I'm going to say.
Oh, I think there's probably penalties if we tie, so we won't tie.
Do they do
penalties in
PKs
preseason? Is the dumbest thing ever.
I think they do.
They will.
They always do. I remember going to SoFi and they did.
Penalties. Oh yeah, they do. They make a show of it. Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Let's. Why don't we do the season preview? And I apologize to the people in the rooms next to me. I'm going to yell for a little bit.
Great.
I mean, if you can somehow convert them to listeners after all this,
that'd be good.
That's pretty.
Hey,
awesome.
I know I woke you up in the middle of the night, but have you ever heard of Major League Soccer?
Yeah. Do you have a Patreon?
It's wild. All right. Let's start the show. Well, as the more casual LAFC fan on the show, I love the team and I'll watch every match, but keeping up with every detail can sometimes feel like a full-time job. And I already have one of those and like 16 little kids and a dog at home to take care of. I'm literally drowning in shit. Do you think I have time to look up trade rumors? You think I'm going to wake up at 5:30 in the morning to 3-year-old twins yelling for their mom and go to their room and say good morning, only to have them scream, no, I said mama, and say, oh, cool, no worries, I'll just take 5 and look up advanced stats and see who the best 11 might be this week? At what point between making 4 breakfasts because the dog ate 1 while my wife makes 3 lunches and somehow we get everyone to school and work on time should I be like, oh, wait 1 sec, I got to scroll through r/Timbers to see what the vibe is going to be like in Portland this week? The answer is, of course, I don't know that they're not even playing Portland next week. Luckily, my friend Travis, the human LAFC crazy wall, and Vince, soccer head on the inside, are here every week to make sense of all the roster moves, tactics, rumors, and memes, and catch us up on the most important storylines that live beneath the surface of every match so we can all enjoy them so much more in a segment we call Storylines.
We're back. Darren, the saddest, darkest one yet. Just want to say that right off the bat.
I just said I didn't bitch about my life enough in the last season.
It's finally time to get the real Darren, and he fucking hates his family.
I gotta lodge complaints. Aggressively.
I can't wait till you leave and get a convertible.
I raced home and Allie's like, I'll put the kids to bed. She like made me a cocktail to commemorate the beginning of the new season.
Oh my God. Your wife is a saint.
It's like
incredible. I haven't seen my wife in weeks.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't either. We don't see each other. We'll go back to the dark version.
Welcome to the official start of the 2025 season. We made it. It feels like just 1 month
Seems
ago.
like barely.
Something happened in the playoffs that has been erased from our brains, but you're here listening to our Idiot's Guide to the 2025 season. And even though last year was really confusing, I think that confusion has led to 2025 being maybe the most interesting start to a season since we started this podcast, maybe even in LAFC history. And that brings us to our first storyline, which is this. Who the fuck is LAFC now? Last year felt like a weird season where we never had a roster or a strategy that worked for the club. We ended in first in the West despite that, and yet always it felt like something was slightly off. Our front office and our coach felt slightly out of step as well. We played one formation, then another, and our play style changed faster than LAFC's opinion of Kike Oliveira. Since we last spoke, our roster has completely transformed, and here's a list of who is no longer on the team that used to be on the team last season. And when I say the name, you guys either say sad or it's okay, and how you're feeling about them leaving. So first, Olivier Sanchez to Austin.
Sad.
Mateus Bogusch to Cruz Azul.
Sad.
Jesus Murillo to FC Juarez.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
Edward Atuesta to Palmeiras.
Yeah, it's okay.
Sad. I like that guy.
Omar
Especially
Campos
now
to
that he's on
Cruz
our-
Azul.
It's okay.
It'll be okay eventually.
It'll be okay.
Lewis O'Brien to Swansea.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Carlos Vela to being a wife guy.
I'm gonna say it's okay just because it's time. But
It was already in
you're good.
progress.
Kai Kamara to being a tall guy.
Sad.
That's the same as Omar Campos. It stings, but we'll get over it.
Thomas Angel to San Diego.
Who?
Please, right this way.
Lil Eric Duenas to Houston Dynamo.
Get paid.
Yeah, but aren't you gonna miss those photos of him when he was 8 years old?
Yeah, he'll be back here eventually.
And the fact that
It
he
feels
looks the
like
same.
I'm legally not allowed to look at them.
Yeah.
Academy director Todd Saldana to his LinkedIn edit page.
Ooh,
Sad.
yikes.
I
That
like Todd.
Okay, so that's who we lost. Here are the new players we brought in, and I want you to either say hell yeah or whatever after I name each one. You ready? Jeremy Abobasi,
Hell yeah.
hell yeah.
Mark Delgado from Carson,
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Igor Jesus from Estrella Amadora,
Hell yeah.
Sure.
Yaw Yaboa from Columbus,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
and Kosi Tafari from Dallas.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Odin Tiago Holm from Celtic.
Hell
The
yeah.
name alone, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So Vince, I want you to talk that's the state of what has changed with our players. The vibe was strange last season. I want you to talk through what went wrong with our formation and, dare I say, tactics last year, and what kind of team you think we have this season.
Yeah, we were just very one note. Like you mentioned the change, which was I thought we were all on the same page. Steve, I thought we were all going to the same place together, and you got scared by that one result against the Crew. We have added there. I mean, I'm selling Steve a little short. There's been other things that happened. Obviously, Tillman got hurt around that time, so it was hard to play with a 3-man midfield with thinking Eric Duenas was going to be a starter game in and game out. And then you went on an insane run and took yourself to a final. So it's like, if you're a coach and your job is to win games, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So when they changed to this kind of counterattacking style, it went right. And then they also won. They did win a trophy. They lost in that League Cup final. Yeah, the most important trophy. The only trophy that matters in American history. And so the thing was, it's like, what's the point of changing? We're going to ride or die with this. And generally speaking, that's how most teams play. You have a plan A, and then plan B is to just do plan A better. But Steve's pretty pragmatic. So I think this roster makeover has been with that in mind, because we were very one note. Teams were like, look, just don't lose the ball in the middle of the field and don't get outnumbered in counterattacks, and LAFC will struggle. Still, they were one goal away from going to the Western Conference Finals. As you mentioned, they still were in first place because ultimately, they had great talent. They had great talent. They had a very strong defense. So they didn't give up a lot. And then they had the guys that put the ball in the back of the net. And ultimately, that will win you a lot of games and can actually carry you through the playoffs. It just, your margin is so narrow. Like you're relying on so many things to go right, and you're not, getting the volume that I think you think about when you think of great football teams. Is those great like Real Madrid teams or Manchester City teams, they just wear you out with just chance after chance after chance. That was the opposite of LAFC. LAFC was like, well, we'll get two and we got Bouanga and then you won't score on us. That's just a recipe for disaster if you don't have luck on your side that day.
Are there any of the new players that you think bring something that you're especially excited about this season?
I like Igor Jesus as a player that he's just going to he's a much younger version of what you wanted Ilie to do. He stitched together the offense and the defense. He's going to want to get on the ball and control the tempo. Whereas you had midfielders last year at times where it was like, oh my God, just get the ball off my feet to Bouanga and let's run as fast as we can to the goal and see what happens. He seems to be the type that will be more of a metronome, which was more like Ilie in his first season, where he's going to get on the ball. He's going to find ways to stitch the team together. And I watched him in the first half against the Chicago Fire in the Coachella tournament. And like the dude just wants to play positive passes forward. It's not like he's going to control the tempo, but it's not going to be boring to the point where you get a guy sometimes. And I love this stat when people go, he had 100% pass completion rate. And then you look at his pass map and it's all sideways and backwards. And you're like, well, who the fuck cares? He's not that guy. So while he does control the game, he controls the game with an eye towards getting the ball forward and getting his team into good position. So that's really exciting. And I think he's going to be an exciting player for LAFC and for the way that we hope they might change going forward.
And his name is Igor Jesus.
Yeah. We're like on the all name team right now with some.
I want to add, we mentioned this in an off-season episode, I believe, but huge upgrade just on names alone.
Yeah.
Which is very important. Let's not count that
Odin
out.
Holm, and also Yaboa.
Yeah.
Great names.
And
so
Kosi Tafari.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is good. This is
and
solid.
Kosi's going to be cool. I like Kosi.
We still have to see, we still have the top seed of hottest team in MLS to uphold. That's important too. Names are great. Kits we'll talk about later. So aesthetics are important.
Darren, I want to make sure I say the name of every player that's on the team. That's important to me here. So I'm going to give you a list of the names of players that are still on the team from last season. And outside of Olivier Giroud, I want to tell you who is the most interesting question mark to you for this season. Okay.
You want me to tell you the most interesting question mark? Okay.
Yeah. Outside of Giroud, because I think we all know that Giroud is a question mark.
The most interesting question mark in the world.
Aaron Long, Marlon, Kike Oliveira, Sergi Palencia, Eddie Segura, Hugo Lloris, Maxime Chenot, Ryan Hollingshead, Timmy Tillman, David Martinez, Denny Bouanga, and superstar Nathan Ordaz.
To me, it's a toss-up between David Martinez and Tillman.
Okay,
I think
tell me why.
Tillman has shown flashes of being a strong team leader who is just like fantastic, and then has kind of faltered here and there. And especially with new guys coming into the midfield, I am very curious where he's going to fit into the mix and whether he's going to emerge as the guy we count on the most out of everyone and the guy who's been here the longest, or just kind of a guy who we shuffle in and out, or somewhere in between. And David Martinez is the guy that everyone's hot on with all of the potential for the young gun. And who knows if he'll get a spot striking, and when he gets in, who knows what he'll do.
Vince, how you feeling about those answers?
I mean, I 100% agree. I mean, the biggest like literal question mark is Kike Oliveira, because we're like, is he going to be on the team? He's not. He literally could not be on the team by the time this episode drops.
Yes. There are rumors as of today are the original offers that Grêmio in Brazil sent forward, LAFC has rejected. They might raise those offers. I think they said they're asking for at least $5 million is the current, I think, what he is in the article. I don't know. You go read it. I don't want to read.
I honestly truly don't care what happens to Olivier.
I mean, I think I have it in here somewhere else, but yeah, well, we're going to talk about it in a bit. So we'll talk about it in a second. So,
Martinez could do something really special. He's really young. I
Or
was
not.
looking at some, or not. And even if he doesn't, he's still an incredible talent. If he has a just okay season, you got to remember he's still a teenager. Yes, he's going to turn 20 at some point during this season, I think. Actually, he might not even turn 20.
He's just 20?
Yeah, he's that young, and he's playing at.
He's a little baby.
do you think he's ever drank alcohol before?
No, it's not. It's not legal.
You're not allowed. You are not allowed to ask that question. You especially. No, but so I think one of the big questions, and I don't know if we're going to touch on this at all, but with Bogusz leaving, like obviously he's a good player, but you just look at the like hard numbers there. Like 18 goals are now off your roster. How do you make that up? And I think LAFC, a lot of fans wanted obviously Anton Griezmann to show up, but I think LAFC looked at it and was like, well, it could just be on the roster because there's no way that Giroud is going to score 0 goals like that they just have that in their mind. And I tend to agree with them. But then there's also David Martinez, who Bogusz in his first season with LAFC had 3 goals, 3 assists in just over 1,700 minutes. Last season, Martinez played a shade shy of 500 minutes, 4 goals, 2 assists. And again, 18 years old doing that.
Jeez.
So,
oh, wow.
You kind of extrapolate that into, by the way, Bogusz in all competitions played 2,000, or in MLS played 2,600 minutes. So we're talking about like, if you just multiply that, which it doesn't work that easily, but I mean, there's very real chance he could be the guy that breaks out the way Bogusz did. And what would be even crazier is he's just a couple years younger.
Ooh, don't get me too excited, Vince. Don't get me too excited. So on paper, this is an incredibly deep roster, and we do have that third DP slot open, which has been rumored for about a year and a half now to belong to Antoine Griezmann if he decides he wants to join us from Atletico Madrid. Vince, what are you hearing about Griezmann? Bogert told us this week that all of our eggs are in that basket, but as we all know, eggs are expensive. Anything you want to add about our chances of landing?
Grocery store didn't even have eggs last time I went.
Oh my God, what's
no.
what's Trump doing?
Can you believe it?
What's he doing?
In this economy?
Different podcast.
So anything you want to add about our chances at landing We Who Must Not Be Named?
100% not happening until the summer. Like the guy stumbled a little bit to start. And I think Atletico does have some succession planning. Like Julian Alvarez is the guy that's going to take Griezmann's place eventually. But don't forget, Griezmann is the all-time leader in goals there. I think he's the all-time leader in appearances. He's a hero to this team that is, by the way, just a point outside of the top spot in Spain as we speak. So like,
and in the Champions League.
And in the Champions League. So like that, this guy's a cult hero. The other thing, and Tom is totally right. I would never say Tom's wrong when it comes to a transfer rumor because he knows much more than I do. But one thing that hasn't been talked about a lot, and I kind of bounced this off Tom a little bit, was I've been hearing that Griezmann wants something similar to his buddy Messi, where he wants a deal that it's like, no, it's not just a salary thing. It's endorsements. It's chunks of things. It's one of the biggest deals in MLS history aside from Messi. And those type of things aren't a simple transfer. That takes a lot of lawyers. It takes a lot of paperwork. That takes a lot of time. So I think when we looked at it last season, when people were like, oh my God, the window's closing, he might come, there was no chance that was ever going to happen because you can't even write a contract in that time. Like you just can't figure it all out. So
can't AI do that? People say AI can do it.
You know what? Actually, I would like everyone that's listening to this, go to your chat GBT and just query, please make me a contract for Anton Griezmann. And then we'll send them to John. We'll see what happens.
Actually, yeah, just send it to jt@lafc.com. I assume that's definitely, honestly, probably his email.
Might be that we might get in trouble. Yeah. You might have just guessed right.
Well, everyone knows that the real one is the drunken JT.
Yes,
but,
exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's news. I think
if the reveal for who drunk John Thorrington is John Thorrington.
Is in fact Vince
has said that before. I think
that was awesome.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, I just want to reiterate, like, this is a deal that like it takes a long time, and there's a lot more going into it than just we want player wants splashy city in America, wants MLS. He wants a lot, and you're gonna have to pry him also away from a club that loves him a lot in a city that loves him a lot.
Yeah, they're gonna have to explain that to their fans.
Yeah.
So speaking French, I want to talk about the next storyline, which I think is probably going to be the storyline that everyone is curious about LAFC this year. And it's this. Is Olivier Giroud washed? Last summer, we signed the single best goal scorer in French national team history, Olivier Giroud, 57 goals in 137 appearances. And in his stint with AC Milan between 21 and 24, he scored 39 goals for the team. So of course, when we signed him last season, Olivier Giroud scored a whopping 0 goals for LAFC. Vince, why didn't things work with Olivier last year, and what do you think needs to change this year?
The playing style needs to change a little bit. You know, I think it was pretty obvious to a lot of people. I'll give those people credit that talk about tactics all the time, and I say you don't know what you're talking about. You got this one right. Like Olivier Giroud just does not fit into a system where the ball is going a million miles an hour back and forth, and you're expecting him to keep up with everyone. But beyond that, and we talked about this a little bit, the dude just didn't look fit. And I think on the Soccer Wise podcast, David had a great stat where he said that Giroud had played like almost 4,000 minutes of soccer when he came to LAFC, and like had no preseason, no real break between AC Milan, the Euros, all that. So you just gotta hope he's a little fresher.
I'm
His
really
body's
curious
healed.
about the Club America game tonight that we're missing. I think that it'll be a good indication, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. In watching that game against Chicago, like LAFC is still very much toggling to all gas, no brakes. And there's times where Giroud is still getting lost in the mix because they're basically just bypassing him. He's like, hey, can we link up a little bit? And then they're like, no, man, Bowanga's already 30 yards ahead of you, and I'm kicking the ball towards him. He did have a great moment where he sprung David Martinez, and Martinez ended up missing it one, but it was still like one of those where you're like, ooh, that's a cool combination. I'd like to see more of that. But at the end of the day, I want to see Giroud taking the shot, not setting up Bowanga, not setting up Martinez. I want him taking more shots. I want him in the box. And LAFC, in order to do that, is going to have to control the ball and control the game and tilt the field in their favor to basically continue to get chances and to break down defenses. They can't just rely on going direct every single time.
Darren, we have Bowanga, Olivier, Giroud, Martinez, Abobasi, and superstar Nathan Ordaz. How you feeling about our front line this year?
If they all deliver as advertised, I feel great. Yeah, Giroud's not washed. Isn't a French shower just perfume? We put some cologne on.
Yeah, he's never washed, actually. Now that
who needs to wash? You don't have to wash.
This is it's gonna go bad quickly if we go down this road. Yeah, I think we're all
sorry
pro
to French
Giroud.
people.
We're pro Giroud on this pod. What was the over that we picked on the Soccer Wise podcast? 12 goals?
12 and a half.
12 and a half. So I think that's very fair for a guy with his pedigree, especially with time and potentially his friend from France joining up. I just feel like I think we'll know relatively quickly if there's something more existential with him that we have to worry about that the offseason didn't help with.
I think the tactics are going to take time. Like, you don't just tell the team like, hey guys, you're used to scoring goals this way, and I know like it feels cool and it looks cool, but like I'm going to need you to slow down. Like, players don't want to suck. Like they want to revert to the things that have worked for them in the past. So it'll take some time to kind of make those connections. But I would say, to your point, Travis, if the team is all of a sudden playing in a more controlled possession style and we're still not seeing Giroud at least get chances, because that was the other thing. He wasn't even getting chances.
Yeah.
Then I will really start to worry. But it just seems like you don't sign this guy and then decide that you're going to play all counterattacking football. I think it was a weird moment. They thought he would settle in. They thought the team would settle in, that it would just naturally happen. I think they're going to have to kind of game plan for it a little bit more than just figuring, oh, he's the greatest scorer in French history, he'll figure it out. No, you got to actually.
That's literally what I said multiple times on the show. He'll figure it out.
I think
I'm sure Steve just walked around saying that all the time in the locker room.
It's worth also saying out loud, like, they have the goals on paper. It's not like if something happens, nobody should be coming for John Thorrington. He did what he was supposed to do. Like, we have the opportunity that we were supposed to have.
Darren's already starting the Dolo out. Already, laying the seeds.
Turning.
I don't mean
it's certainly not Jonathan Thornton's
turn your
fault.
ire toward Dolo. I think there's also reasons why it's not his fault either in that case. Who knows what's going to happen? I just think
Vince isn't the only shill for the team this year.
Assembled the crew we need to assemble. They need to do their jobs.
Well, finally, our last storyline of the season, an underrated storyline for the club, and something near and dear to my heart whenever we talk about sports. And it's this. How are we feeling? How are the vibes this season? And as we said, LAFC is coming off a really bizarre 2024 where we had to watch our biggest rivals win MLS Cup without having to play any of the hardest teams in the league.
This sucked.
Is not to ignore the fact that we lost to Seattle, but that was because, as Vince said, one own goal for Maxime Chanot caused us to lose that game and made sure that the Galaxy never had to play anywhere but home. But it's not sour grapes. Congrats to the good people over in Carson. I hope you enjoy that really breathable air. But some of the weird vibes we're bringing.
Our air has gotten significantly worse.
Yes, but when ours gets better, theirs will stay the same.
Good, yeah,
it's not going to get any better down there in Carson. Here's some of the weird vibes we're bringing into opening day that I just want to remind you guys about. Olivier Giroud could be washed. Carlos Vela came back. But no, he didn't. Where is he? Bouanga is rumored to have offers on the table. Could Bouanga leave? The one positive thing about last year winning the US Open Cup, we're not going to be able to defend that trophy. They didn't put us in that tournament because they want us to play in the Leagues Cup. Kiki Oliveira is demanded a transfer, refused to come back to practice, said it was because he didn't want his child to breathe the wildfire air. That also could be true and something I don't discredit in the way that some people do, but also rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. One of our biggest offseason signings comes from Carson, which has never happened before. Our new kit has a collar. And to top it all off, our podcast has a new logo. All of that is to say, while I do think we probably still have the best roster in the West, the vibes and the storylines around this team this season are strange. So Vince, how are you feeling about the aura around the team this year? How optimistic do you feel at the start of the season?
I mean, I think they addressed some of their biggest needs. Like, we complained about the midfield and the like poor fit, and then guys not being fit, literally, like being a little bit older, not being able to cover ground. And then they went out there and they're like, "You guys don't like those guys? All right, let's get a bunch of young guys that can run for like ages and just never stop." Then, to your point, they're like, Giroud, like he's got to score, right? And somebody goes, "What if he doesn't?" They're like, "All right, we'll get a Bobasi. We'll go out and get a Bobasi." Yes, Bogusz is gone, but as I said, as we already said, David Martinez might be ready. Like, it might be time for him anyways. And Bogusz was just going to be in the way, and he was never going to be higher. Like, as much as you look at Bogusz and go like, he scored 18 goals. What are the chances he was going to score 20 goals this season? Probably not very high. So you send him to Cruz Azul, you get as much return on investment as you can, and you reinvest that money. I don't know. It just feels, and I'm with you where it feels weird, but it also feels a little bit like it felt when we missed the playoffs and then went into 2022 with a collection of some interesting young talent, but some guys that really know the league and know how to win games in MLS in terms of when the season gets a little gritty and things get a little bit tougher, which for LAFC, that was kind of like what we were missing. There wasn't that, it's not that they weren't trying. It's just like there were some games that didn't really go our way because at the end of the day, we just couldn't pull it out. Well, these guys kind of have that little bit of extra nous, and it feels kind of like the transition going into that MLS Cup winning year, and that would be pretty cool, right? I mean, that's what we want to do.
I'm down for that. Yeah.
Same year we signed Olivier Sanchez, who became, as we all know, a Mount Rushmore player for LAFC.
So it's weird to think that a Galaxy player's come, but like he's literally like the one I mean, yeah, maybe you would like to have Ricky Puig on your team, but like no one likes that guy.
Yes.
Like no one actually likes that guy. And like Delgado, like not only makes the team tick, but like he just does all the things where you're like, that guy just goes out there and puts in a shift. And then you go like, I don't know what he did, but I know that all of his teammates love him because he ran for every single one of them. And that seems like a type of guy that we need.
Carson fans were not happy that Delgado came here. There was I always go to the opposing team subreddit when we get a new player and see what their reaction is. And it was, obviously people were upset that it was us, but they feel like this is a big loss for their team to lose Delgado.
Yeah, he's got everything. Like the funny thing is, I say that like you don't really know what he does, but like just watch him. He's actually very good on the ball. It's not like he's just some kind of like intangible guy. Like he can really play, and he'll dazzle with a back heel or here or there. Like again, he reminds me a lot of Kelnicoff.
Dazzle with a back heel. We're so back, baby.
Yeah.
I want to state, just for the record, if we somehow ended up with Ricky Puig on our team, I really don't think I could find a way to root for that guy.
Yeah.
At all.
I especially if he was new, maybe, but coming in with like everything we know about how much of a little rat shit he is, like we just couldn't do it. Darren, I want to ask you this question about the vibes.
That's the door for me. What's up?
We're talking about Carson already. Carson, obviously, MLS Cup champions. We're going to hear that over and over this year. We beat them twice last year, lost to them once. If, let's say, Olivier Giroud doesn't work out, how are you feeling about the vibes of the fan base at the moment? Do you think things are good? Do you think people are mentally well at the moment?
Oh, we're never mentally well. I think we're all kind of waiting. It's going to be important because, like Vince said, this is going to take time. But I don't know that the fans have time in terms of the anxiety that we are all kind of experiencing. I think we're waiting for a sign from the team that everything's going to be okay. So the first few weeks of the season, I think, are going to be really important for us and the team to find some kind of balance with each other and be like, okay, I'll give you another week.
Good luck.
Yeah. It's gonna be I mean, last season, remember how rough the first half of last season
Yeah.
was? We were like, oh, I guess we're going to have to gear up for just being terrible this year.
That's true.
And then things really turned around. I don't know what this season's going to be like. It's going to be a roller coaster like every season. But yeah, strap in. It will be lucky and wonderful if we get some kind of positive sign from the team very early on that, like, we know who we are. We know how to play.
Finally, I want to bring up one last conversation topic in storylines, and it's this. Darren and Vince, you're both connoisseurs of kits. How are you feeling about the brand new away kit? Better than the smokescreen? How does it rank amongst the away kits? So we had the plain white kits, the out of toner run over by a car kits, the cream heart of gold kit, the green smokescreen kit, and now this new collared gold foil kit. How are we feeling? Where does it rank in that list?
I was much higher on it until a couple hours ago.
Tell us why. Tell us why, Vince.
What a low bar that list is. I guess.
Yeah,
our away kits are always bad.
And that's another thing. I think it's a solid win, but there's one thing that's really going to bug me, and it's not LAFC's fault. It's definitely an Adidas problem because the Newcastle third kit, which is also a lovely kit, has this as well. If you're going to put a collar on a jersey, it's a collar. Don't make it a faux collar. And you guys will see this as you're out at the stadium buying them. The Authentics have a polo front, but it ends. So, like, let's say you want to flip your collar up and look cool like Eric Cantona did back in the 90s. You can't. It just flips up on the sides and the back ends. And also, it ends in such a... because it's supposed to go all the way around. So if you look at it, you're like, why is it just ending? It just ends.
That's a bummer because it's a shirt that I feel like a lot of people could convince their wives to let them wear out to a fancy dinner.
Oh,
no, it's not.
But yes, it is. Yes, it is.
If we're in Glendale, yeah,
it's got a collar.
These are the Glendale kits. I'm calling these.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
But now without the collar in the back, I don't think so, right? You're not going to get into the fanciest restaurants at the Americana.
These are just gills.
Darren, how are you feeling about it?
I don't like them.
Like at all?
It seems pretty. They're fine. They're fine. They're fine. Like I said, the bar is low with the away kits. We don't do a good job. The cream ones were good. All the other ones were shit. The black ones are great. I don't know. The thing is, I want a light kit. Like the third kit that we had last year is enough for me.
It's hard when
it's
this
awesome.
like this.
Look at that kit. It's beautiful.
Could you just make this it?
Yeah, like that's fine. I'm
and
satisfied.
Flex Power Tool says no, we can't make that the third kit.
Exactly. And it's pretty clear to me that Adidas did like the same kit template is being used for like every team this season. It's just like a different colors.
There's a couple of teams that use that same template. That doesn't bother me that much because I feel like, that happens most years.
Yeah.
And it is different than the template that other teams are using. Like it does have the same bottom and like shoulder thing, but the collar is different. And obviously using gold foil is different. There's also a
weird like silhouette, like.
Well, that's the way it works. So basically Adidas says, okay, guys, this is the template for the season. And here are the things that you can change. Hey, you can have a collar if you want, and you can do something cool on the collar and then, you have the template.
That's the thing I like the most.
Do stuff.
I like the detail on the collar, that weird little like chain link thing. I think that looks really cool. The Art Deco, whatever you want to call it. I actually like these kits. I do think the collar is going to bother me more than the template thing. The fact that I like collars, but I think the fact that it ends in the back is really stupid. But I would rank this honestly maybe second in terms of these away kits. Like smokescreen, I'm so thankful we never have to see that again. The out of toner one is one of the worst kits I've ever seen. I think
I don't mind it.
Cream Heart of Gold kit is probably the best away kit. And then the very first one that we had for one season, it's between that and this. And people have been begging for real gold. We're going to see what gold foil looks like on all of us. And I have a feeling we're all going to go, okay, we don't need a full gold kit.
Oh yeah. You don't need a full gold kit.
All right. Yeah. Well, we decided that the Glendale kit, top three at least.
The Glendale kit.
Those are the storylines for the start of the 2025 season. When we come back, I'm going to redeem myself when we're going to draft some goal scorers.
And we're back. It's time for the 2025 LAFC Fantasy Draft. It's pretty simple. We'll each take turns drafting 4 LAFC players to our squad. Whoever's team of 4 has the most total goals at the end of the season wins 1 free bacon-wrapped hot dog outside of the stadium, courtesy of the other 2 hosts. We'll keep a tally throughout the season so we can trash talk each other accordingly. But there's always one twist. And traditionally, that twist has always been that Denny Bouanga, star player, perennial Golden Boot contender, hot piece of ass, is off the market. What should he be? It's a new season. Is this the year everything changes? It's time for our first ever segment within a segment, the pre-LAFC Fantasy Draft, LAFC Fantasy Draft rules debate.
So
and we're back.
Here's how it came about, right? There's rumors that Bouanga might be gone mid-season. So it's possible that picking Bouanga no longer is as big of a deal as it once was. And also, Matty Bogusz had more goals from play than Denny Bouanga did. So Matty Bogusz, having Denny Bouanga or Matty Bogusz were almost equally as helpful to a drafted squad last year. So I think we should bring him back in, but we need to figure out some stipulation for whoever gets him, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I think it makes it more fun. And I think we all agree that we think, because here's the thing, if we don't pick Bouanga, I think all of us are like, well, then Giroud's going to be the natural first pick. Maybe.
I'm not giving away my fucking list.
Okay, calm down. I posited that if you get the first pick and you're like, okay, well, it's still Bouanga, you lose a pick. But you kind of pointed something out to me, Travis, just now that could work. What if you only get Bouanga's non-penalty goals?
I was going to suggest the same thing.
Because it's not really fair, because there will be times that maybe someone else takes a penalty, but we know Bouanga plays in every single game, every single minute, every single game. So like he's the only one that gets a chance at those.
I was going to say, if we can take out penalty goals for everyone, right?
No, not for everyone. Because
not for everyone.
Well, there's probably no one else going to take a penalty. Maybe Giroud gets one because they're like, hey man, you still haven't scored a goal. We're 6 months into the season. Let's do this.
Hey, it's your retirement game. It's April. We need
right. So there's a chance, but I just like, I think Bouanga had 7 penalties in the regular season.
That. Non-penalty goals, all competitions.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. But is
just
it
him,
just
like
for
he's
Bouanga?
special. Yeah, like he's special.
But non-penalty goals, yeah. Okay.
I mean, again, I don't think you're going to get much.
Because if someone else it's a goal here or there, might as well count it.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I'll say is, heaven for Lord above, the one Christian Catholic God that we all agree with. What if Bouanga gets hurt for an extended period of time and then someone else starts taking all the penalty goals? Does that then become unfair, or is that a gamble?
That's the gamble.
I mean, that's what we're doing.
But then it's just Giroud again. Why don't we just get rid of all penalty goals?
Because I worry about Darren. He already has so many things on his plate. He's going to have to calculate these things without penalties.
Yeah.
Good point. Okay, just Bouanga, actually. Okay, all right, that's fair. 4 rounds. We each pick 4 players. What's the order we're going to go in?
That's the other thing. What is the order we're going to go in?
I think the most fair.
First. Can I just say?
Yeah, I was going to say the most fair is the last place goes first.
I would say as the
an
person
American
who's
tradition.
won 2 years in a row and the only person on the show who's won it all, maybe it should be me.
Interesting point, Darren.
It's very.
As the person who's come in last both times, I think it's only fair that I get first pick.
Somehow these things are both so America. Somebody that already has everything saying, I think I should just get more. And then also somebody that says, well, I came in last.
Oh, you're the
so I should get to go first.
Yeah,
you're the
I'm in the middle,
man.
Yeah, I'm just going. I'm pretty much going second, right? I'm not going.
I have a better argument.
This is an MLS bit. This is about parody, right?
I have a better argument for why I should go first. Last year I didn't get to do this because my dad was dying, and tomorrow's the 1-year anniversary of my dad dying. So I think I should get to go first.
Fuck, fine.
Yes.
God, Travis, you waited like 30 minutes to play that card this season?
Hell yeah, dog. I want to go first. I was so mad I didn't get
yours.
Just so people know, if you're ever in an argument with Travis, he always says that in the chamber. So just watch out.
I will say, I have said from the beginning I get 1 year of it, and that goes away tomorrow. So I'm cashing it in today.
We should have scheduled this differently.
Let me tell you, you have more than a year to use that card. If
you great. Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Bet it and forget it. I'm about to rake in some dough. Okay. All right. I'll go first. Easy. Whoa. Oh, and also, is it snake draft or do I get the 4th pick?
Give him out some fucking cookie.
How did we do it last time?
I think last year we just went in order. We didn't do snake draft.
Yeah, I mean, after the first 2 picks, it's going to start to get wild here anyway. So yeah, I don't care either way. Let's just go right back to you after the you get the 4th pick. So 1st and 4th.
Okay. Oh, and then who goes 2nd and 3rd?
Well, clearly I'm going to go 2nd. I mean,
Yes.
I've just been locked into that. I didn't even have a horse in this race.
Who's the saddest person that's died in your life?
Oh,
Oh, wow, we're getting personal.
I'm not very close with my family. This is actually sad. This is
No, that means you go second. That is sad.
yeah. We should. Oh, I'm gonna
It's
have
more
to talk.
cosmic
Yeah,
sadness.
my therapist and I are gonna have a talk.
Okay, me first, Vince second, Darren third. Let's begin the
I
draft.
don't know how this happened.
The number one pick
Fine, all I know how to do in this game is win.
in the draft is Danny Mwanga.
Can't even
Sorry,
believe it.
he's off the
Oh,
board.
wow. All right.
Second pick is the most intriguing pick.
Do you believe in Olivier Giroud?
See,
Oh, interesting.
well, I'm actually thinking less about that and like where I'll be when we come back and who I can like get, because I feel like it's the Darren beat me last year with like his auxiliary players, like not his like.
I think
I
what
also
you're trying to say is pure skill and cunning.
no, I also overthought this last year too by thinking like, oh well, Darren will do this and then I'll totally beat him because I know how deep the roster is. So maybe I should just do chalk. I'm gonna pick Drew.
Wait. I was hoping you would ramble a bit more and kind of vacillate a little bit more, and then.
Well, I'm just saying I overthought it the last time, so
Yeah.
I'm not even going to take that chance. I'm going to pick
Yeah.
Giroud. He's going to score 15 goals, and you know what? Maybe Bouanga does get hurt, and 7 of them are penalties. I don't care.
The third pick, I think, is really interesting.
The third pick now gets very interesting.
Yeah, this pile of shit you guys have handed me. is
No, let's just say it out loud, right? Kike Oliveira, goal scorer, might not be here by the time this gets released, but one of us is going to have Kike Oliveira on our team. And we said a bunch of stuff about David Martinez. Who knows how many minutes he's going to get?
Mm-hmm.
Kai Kamara was not on the team at this point last year.
Right.
Oh my god, yeah.
There's not a lot of big goal scorers.
No.
You're basically hoping for the best.
Yeah, I guess the thing we didn't talk about with Martinez earlier is that it's hard to know how he's going to fit in with Abobasi.
I mean, I think if Abobasi's playing, it means Giroud's not on the field.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
know if that changes his game. I don't. You know what I love about him? I don't think anything changes his game. He's a YOLO player. He's like, he's like, this is what I do.
Martinez?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Kike.
Okay. Kike Oliveira for number 3.
Here's the theory. I think he's gonna play out of his mind because he's gonna be advertising himself to prospective teams that he wants to get out and get signed with.
Okay.
Incredible.
Wow.
I think he will leave. I don't think he will last. I think he will score enough goals while he's here to get himself out of here and give me enough points.
He's gonna have to last till at least summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if he stays until summer, this isn't a bad pick. But
No,
it
he has
is
to, yeah.
there. He has to, does he?
No. I'm saying no. I'm saying he has to.
You're not saying he has to
make
stay-
sense.
Yes.
For Darren.
For it to make sense, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
but there is limited places for him to go. Like Brazil is really like it's like Brazil and maybe like 1 or 2 other places.
Which lowers the amount of leverage Brazil has at the moment, right? And so we can just keep him, and Darren might reap the rewards. Okay, second round, 4th pick. I'm going to go with the king of upside, David Martinez, number 4.
So, in my mind,
I should be writing this down, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, probably.
Who'd we pick?
In my mind, this is the right pick, but also it's just like if Giroud doesn't work out, then it's got to be this guy. So it's a Bobasi,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like it's like one
Yeah.
player at this point to me. I don't care.
I also think Abobasi is probably going to play at least 20 minutes a game, right? Giroud's old. They're going to pull him at some point. That's a lot of minutes for a striker. And I think he's a striker that knows how to score goals in MLS. And I think that could maybe be a sneaky great pick by Mr. LaRosa. Darren?
Going third sucks in this game.
How do you think I felt last year?
You didn't.
How do you think I felt listening to this back last year?
Yeah, a computer literally did it for you.
I think you were pretty distracted with more important things. I guess I'll go with Tillman.
Got it.
I think that's right. Okay.
You say- Got it.
No, he said got to.
You got to.
Oh, I think he's a guy. I think he's a guy like Matt noted.
For a second there, I was like, Darren might go like crazy again. Like I think Kike is like high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
But if you were
that's
gonna
what I
go
was
like
going for.
do that for your second pick, I was gonna be like, Darren, could we at least make this fair? Because you're gonna lose
Yeah.
this game.
Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta go.
You know, I'm always half a step away from picking Lloris.
Assists
I
don't
just
count,
wanna.
Darren. Just goals.
That's visceral, you know.
Hold on, I have to Google something.
Are you looking up how many goals Hollingshead scored last year?
I already know that it was 2.
Ooh.
I'm looking up. I just Googled LA Galaxy goal scores for 2024.
Oh, Delgado.
Delgado.
If I had to guess, Delgado had 3 goals.
Let's see.
Hollingshead had 3, by the way.
Delgado is not listed on the first page. Oh no, he has 1 goal in
Oh, hey,
2024.
well, there you go.
Their
They did have a lot
second
of goal
best goal
scorers.
scorer is gone, Joveljic. Okay, we don't have to talk about the Galaxy.
Yeah, we're not drafting their players.
Okay, I think I'm gonna say just because I want him on my team, Igor Jesus. I'm gonna put Igor Jesus.
All right. Yeah, there's definitely a bias of guys who we know.
And I think Igor is going to get a lot of minutes. I think he's going to be an important player. And Vince just said he likes to move forward. So while I don't think he has probably a ton of goals in his history, he could have a Tillman-like embrace of goal scoring. But who knows?
That's true. Vince?
Do I believe that he's got the legs to last one more year after looking a little bit washed at times last season? But the man just scores goals. And that man is Ryan Hollingshead.
Yep.
Oh,
I don't know
boy.
how he does it, but he does. He's
Most
just in the
goals
right
for a
place at the right time.
defender, right? In MLS history.
And he knows the right places to be in. I think he reaps the rewards of Bouanga taking up so much of the time and space from defenders. And honestly, as my third pick, if he sneaks in 4 goals, that's probably all I need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Last year was his worst year. He was much better the other years.
Yep.
Man, I'm really fucked.
Should we have? Is there like a space for like a Kai Kamara-esque figure that comes? I mean, obviously last year we made a space for Griezmann, but like that. I don't know.
Well, I think what Travis did last year that was, I'll say admirable, is he put the risk in now. Like
Right.
he decided, I'm gonna guess now. So I mean, I shouldn't be afforded the ability halfway through the season to be like, how about I get this guy when he comes in? I got to guess now.
Well, no, he did that. You took Giroud and then also How did you?
I picked Griezmann. The first year I picked Messi. I said Messi's going to come to LAFC.
Yep.
Second year I picked Griezmann, and then when I was so far behind, and
we
Giroud
allowed
came,
you
you allowed me
some-
to swap in Giroud in exchange for like 2 of my players, and it's still those players went on to score goals, and Giroud scored 0.
That's right. All right, I'm going to pick Antoine Griezmann.
God damn it, Vince! Why did you have to bring him up? He wasn't thinking about it. It was about to be my 4th pick. Oh fucking hell!
Oh my god!
Well,
give me something.
Did you guys know that the summer window is later this year than in
That's
years
true.
past?
He's got like 2
So
weeks.
He'll have like 3 games to play. But sure, he'll score 9 goals in those 3 games.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
For my last pick, I'm going between Nathan Ordaz and Delgado. I don't think Ordaz is going to get very many minutes.
We should have fucking snaked it. Fuck this.
What do you mean you got
Fucking hate
Griezmann?
this.
You got Griezmann. I was going to pick Griezmann if you didn't pick him.
You didn't even have to give anything to get him. Like,
Do you
just
want one of
got
the
him.
names I just said? I'll trade you for Griezmann.
And you still have the chance to pick Carlos Vela.
Great point, Vince.
Yeah, great.
Televale.
No,
Darren, I'm giving you an opportunity to give me Antoine.
Can I get Vela and it counts as a goal if he waves to the crowd? Number of waves.
Number of ski
pisses
slopes
blown.
he goes down.
Yeah.
Number of
Yeboah-
vacation
also,
photos.
Yeboah has scored on us in MLS Cup Finals.
Yeah, he's got some goals in him.
Yeboah's not a bad idea.
Yeah, pick him.
There's still players with goals in them. It's just a matter of like how many.
Aaron Long has scored with his butt.
Yeah, well, he scored a banger.
He did score a banger last year.
Yeah.
But you get the sense that it's not going to happen again, given how much of a joke the whole team thought it was.
It's like when
Do you want to be the player who scores a goal and the whole team's laughing hysterically?
I'm gonna go with Delgado. I'm just going pure minutes, opportunity to score.
Yeah,
because I
you
think
can only
he'll play-
score if you're on the field.
and I think he'll play a lot more than Nathan Ordaz will.
Oh, wow. I guess that was wrong. All right, well.
Okay, my final pick. You know what? The man's name is epic, and he's Dribbly Boy So if he does actually play well and wins his way into the starting lineup, it's probably because he's scoring a goal or two here or there. So Odin Thiago Holm will be my final pick, although he is injured right now.
I did see him
He is
with
on
crutches.
crutches.
Yeah, and he looked very much in pain.
I don't think any of the fourth round will score, so it's fine.
Oh, yeah? Are you sure about that?
Darren's picking Hugo Lloris.
He's picking Mario Gonzalez, who is still on the LAFC roster on the website.
There's a lot of players still on the roster on the website.
So who are they need, if anyone from the team is listening, what's going on with your website?
We are three website minded people.
Yeah, that's true.
One literally
All right, guys.
helps run the website at that club. If you
They fired him and the website hasn't changed.
you get what you pay for.
Vince got a new job and he's lobbing scorchers now.
Guys, I don't think I can deal with a year of this without the one and the only Nathan Ordaz on a roster.
Superstar.
The chaos agent himself.
He's earning it this year. All
We're
right.
going for garbage goals, baby. Let's do it.
So let's go through the list of 4. And here's what we'll do. If we want at each, you know how we do the 4 or the 3 reviews over the course of the season, we can have waivers.
Quarterly reviews.
We can have waivers where we decide if we allow swap outs, and Darren always gets the first waiver choice, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, that sounds good.
Do we need a tiebreaker just in case? Or what's the tiebreaker rule?
What do you mean? If we're tied at the end of the season?
Yeah, like let's say 2 guys
Most
total
assists.
up 20 goals. Is it most assists, or
Yeah.
should we guess? Should we guess now, like closest to how many goals we think our team will score?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I think we could do closest to the winning number.
Or just closest to the winning number. So the 3 of us guess who will have the most goals and what that winning number is.
For one player or
No,
for
No, for the total. Like the total that wins is a number we should all guess.
Right. So we look at the winner. Like what was the total last year?
Last year it was 27, and the year
27.
before it was 21.
See, pretty good, big swing. So you'd say like, I think that the winner is going to have 29 goals, and then whoever's closest to what the actual winner is.
Okay, I think the winner is going to have 29 goals.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Whoa. Okay. Vince?
I'm
See
going to
what I
go
did there?
27. Precedent. Right back.
27?
27.
Great. I'm going to say
$1.
26.
So wait, I fucked myself. I fucked myself bad.
You did.
Played you
shouldn't have gone
all.
first.
1 goal. I'm switching it back to 1 goal. All right. So my team is
You're still in good position. If it's anything higher than you win.
Denny Bouanga.
Oh my God. I don't know if the people at home will see this, but you had just activated the thumbs up thing.
Denny
Yeah.
Bouanga, David Martinez, Igor Jesus, and Delgado. Vince, what was your
Yes.
team?
Giroud, Abobisi, Old Man Hollingshead, and the man, the myth, the legend, Odin Thiago Holm.
And Darren, we really fucked you this year. What's your
We're not even sure these guys are
This
on our
is
team.
like, if anyone plays, it's been years since I played. If anybody played Settlers of Catan, when someone's got like 9 points, everyone's like, okay, trade embargo. I have Kike Olivier, a man not long for this world.
I do think that you might have fucked yourself with that. I would not
Who
have put
else am I
Kike
gonna
there.
pick?
David
I don't
Martinez.
know.
I really thought you were going to pick David
Yeah,
Martinez. Which
I
was
should have
gonna,
picked Martinez.
Yeah,
But I don't know what his minutes are going to be like. Tillman,
hopefully a lot.
Griezmann, or Daz.
Griezmann, I do think.
Every single one of those players is high risk, high reward.
I was
Yeah.
going to pick Griezmann. I think you. That's not a bad.
At the very least, you'll have the joy of if he shows up. You're like,
Listen, I deserve some respect as a champion.
2-time champion.
2 times.
Cut me some slack here.
Yeah.
Those are our goal scoring teams this year. When we come back, we're going to make some long-term bets.
And we're back. It's time for a segment called Bet It and Forget It.
Bet it and forget it.
Every week, we end the show with a bet for this week's game. We make an outlandish prediction, something that almost definitely will not happen, but could. Each week, we all put up $5, and if no one hits, the money rolls over to the next week. Eventually, by the time someone's weird prediction comes true, they might win a good chunk of change. In the season preview, we make a long-term bet for a wild prediction for the season. But there is also an outstanding balance to contend with. We ended the last season with a bet pool of $75. I don't know if that applies here, but it's worth mentioning. Maybe we just start the first game with that.
We could make those $75 no, because we might not all hit on this.
Just roll it into the first bet and forget it. The regular bet it.
Okay, yeah. So. But the first year we gave it to charity, but we could say fuck charity. We already raised a bunch of money for charity in the offseason. This money's coming to us, baby.
That's right.
It's about time.
All right.
About time 3 white guys make out with some money in this.
Yeah. Thank you. And that's why we have to get back. Sorry. So crypto.
What is a podcast if not a...
Yeah. Do I have the opportunity to have mine paid out if I win in crypto?
Yeah, Hafo Safo coin is going to launch so soon, so really keep an eye out.
It seems to be working for everyone else.
All right. Anyone got their prediction locked and loaded for their big long shot prediction?
Giroud golden boot.
Whoa. Okay. And he's not taking the penalties.
I love it if that happens, because then that means I'm winning goal score and a fat hot dog going right in here.
Still waiting on the payout, by the way, for the last 2 seasons.
Moving on.
That's actually the first season Yeah.
I think, okay, tell me if this is outlandish enough. Mm-hmm. San Diego ends the season with more points than the Galaxy. Is that a long enough shot?
No, that's good.
I mean, yeah, that's a pretty...
I was going to say they have the most points of anyone in California, but it feels bad to bet against LAFC. Like, I feel like that's bad juju to start the year. So why don't we say that they end the season above the Earthquakes and the Galaxy? How's that sound? San Diego.
Oh, Earthquakes and the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it's too easy if it's just the Galaxy. Like, that's not that hard of a long-term thing. And San Diego looks like they're going to suck. The Earthquakes look like they're good. The Galaxy will get good players back, even though they're injured to start the year.
What did I do last year? I think I did that Miami wouldn't win a trophy. I felt good about that. I felt really good about that.
And they somehow got into the Club World Cup.
Want to do it again, Vince?
No. No.
We know that they'll rig it so that they do.
This is a bad one, but I want it to happen. An MLS team will win the CONCACAF Champions Cup.
Ooh.
I think the Mexican teams have actually, like, they've stocked up, oddly enough, with MLS talent. Like, we grew their talent for them, but I just feel like some MLS team's going to figure it out. It probably won't be Messi's team, but I'm just saying, like, an MLS team's going to figure it out. I think that's a pretty outlandish bet. Like,
it's only happened once before.
Yeah, it's only happened once. So,
does Messi's team count?
More or less.
MLS team?
Yeah. Okay, just checking.
Yeah, they're the MLS team. I'm sure you've heard.
I want to change my prediction really quick because I came up with one that brings me more joy, and it's this: the Columbus Crew will not make the playoffs.
Oh, no Cucho.
They lost all of their players.
Ramirez. It's just little old Diego Rossi holding down the fort.
Yeah, it's just Nancy.
He's just Wilford Nancy yelling at Diego Rossi.
Can Nancy Ball make the playoffs?
Yeah.
And a strategy.
I wish Extra Time was on the air to tell us how good Nancy Ball is.
They're gone, and so is the Columbus Crew.
Yeah, I can't wait for week in and week out. They're like, remember, they lost Cucho, but like they're figuring it out, and it's gonna be really good. Like you can see, like I know they're not doing it, but you could see that they're thinking about doing it, and that means a lot.
What is the Columbus Crew without Extra Time to prop them up?
It's their jersey sponsors.
Some might say the demise of Extra Time led to the demise of the Crew.
I think that's fair. Who else would champion them? All right, so Crew won't make the playoffs. Giroud Golden Boot, an MLS team will win the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Those are some fun predictions. Well, that was our first show of the 2025 season. Let's get back into it, everybody. Welcome to, I don't know what I'm going to say, podcast.
I thought you were going
Travis,
to drop
did you
for a
just
second
start
there. Like
the
something was
episode
gonna
over
happen.
again?
Do we have to do this again?
It's been a long week of
We're
being
literally
home.
going to be back in like a couple days because there's a game in a week.
I won't be
There's a
because I'm
game
going to be in
5
Europe.
minutes,
I'm going to be in
actually.
Europe watching soccer. I'm going to an Arsenal game, and I can't wait to tell you
Oh
about
my
walkable
God.
cities.
Did you actually? Are you seriously already
Who is
going to
Arsenal
Europe?
playing?
I'm going. It's Arsenal West Ham. I'm going. to.
Oh, it's a good little London rivalry there, huh?
And Arsenal needs the points. Look,
Oh yeah, their season's over. I mean,
is it over?
Yeah, but you're going to be in a good place. Being an LAFC fan and then going to hang out with Arsenal fans, you're going to notice a lot of similarities, a lot of complaints, a lot of we could have won if it wasn't for this, if our team wasn't stupid. Yeah.
I didn't have a Premier League team, really. And then I met up with some friends who are Arsenal fans from the UK, and I brought them to an LAFC game, hung out with them after the game, and they convinced me to become an Arsenal fan. So I'm a soft Arsenal fan now, thanks to those
Well,
boys.
you're gonna be a hard one when you see Calafiore, that beautiful Italian man with that mane of hair. You're gonna be all in on Arsenal.
I can't wait to talk about Europe and how great Europe is.
I can't
Our
wait for
theme
you not
music
to.
is done by the insane team of James Valentine from Maroon 5, Nate Walcott from Bright Eyes, and Louis Palmer, a famous jazz drummer. Still very funny 3 years in that's who did this song you're listening to. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and our episodes are there over at youtube.com/@happyfootsadfoot. Please give us a review over at Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We haven't gotten one in a while, and it really helps us.
There's comments on Spotify too. Give us some comments.
Follow us on social media, including now Blue Sky, which is a real bummer of a platform, but is where everybody is now. And if you made it this far in the episode, chances are you're enjoying the show. Thanks already to our Patreon subscribers who have joined and have stayed along for the ride. But if you want to become a Patreon, head over to patreon.com/happyfootsadfoot, where you can get exclusive merch. We have new logo merch available in the store right now. And you also get discounts on merch. We should change that merch code for the new year now that we're talking about it. And yeah, we got a bunch of other stuff. You get to join our Discord, which Tom Bogert just joined. You can annoy him with questions about the transfer season. So yeah, go to patreon.com/happyfootsadfoot. Any support goes a long way to keeping the show going and this community growing. Thanks again. And we'll see you at BMO, baby. I love you. Bye.
I love you. Bye.
Vince?
Vince? Oh, Vince?
What? Did you guys break up? Are you muted?
Oh, no. I can hear you. Can you not hear us?
Oh, I can't.
It's a new season, fresh start.
Oh, you guys are frozen.
Maybe you might like
Don't
it.
you want to? It's
The
a really
one
hard
time I was
for a
going to do
lot of
it and the thing
people.
froze. Oh, that
The
sucks.
city's been through a lot,
well,
Vince.
Hey, Vince,
I
where are
guess
you
we'll do
going? You don't need to leave, Vince.
No,
No,
don't go.
Vince.
Don't leave.
Vince, people need the city. He did start the fires. Now that he's gone, we should say he did. He is the one who started the fires.
You think I'll be back?
No.